Nation Fit in 10, welcome to day 30, 5 days away from the halfway point, second day into the 5th week. We are well on our way, and soon enough I'll be asking for you to be within 5% of your macros daily. 5%. All right, so listen, if you're not at 10%, then obviously I want you to work towards 10%. But next week officially, I'm gonna ask that you're gonna be within 5% of your macros, which is like really, really close. You know, if you're having 100 grams of protein, you have to be within 5 grams, you know, within 95 and 105 grams. So you gotta be pretty precise. All right, well, something I just wanted to make you aware of. I didn't know this because I don't typically eat steel cut oats, but I know some of you do. A lot of the entries in MyFitnessPal for steel cut oats, even though they're verified, they're incorrect. They are underestimated in their caloric value. I'll try to find a good one. I haven't had a chance really to take a good look and find one. But it looks like a lot of the entries in there that are verified are under by about, calorically speaking, I haven't compared the macros. This is probably primarily carbohydrates, but they're about 40% underestimated in calories. So just keep that in mind if you're having steel cut oats. If you are having steel cut oats, in fact, using an entry for rolled oats will be closer, much closer than the entry for steel cut oats. Rolled oats are still going to be a little higher in carbs, but not by much. So just FYI on that. Protein powders, how do you choose a protein powder? Well, obviously taste is going to be up there. Certainly you don't want to have a powder that you don't enjoy the taste of. So, but we won't go there because taste is very individual. But I will talk about a couple things here that are really, really important that you want to look at whenever you're looking at a protein powder. And a protein powder is something that there are, you know, besides vitamins and minerals and fish oil, there's really not a lot of other supplements I'd recommend beyond a protein powder. So this is why I'm bringing it up, because it is pretty mainstream and it is something that even if you don't work out, if you're just somebody who wants to follow a diet, this is probably something, more than likely, maybe not this exactly, but protein powder is something that you're going to implement as part of your diet. It makes it a little bit easier to get protein, especially because protein is very satiating, right? It's very, very filling. So how do you choose one of these? First and foremost, make sure that it's CGMP certified. So on your bucket of protein that you're looking at, you should see somewhere on here that it's CGM or GMP, Goods Manufacturing Practices. This just ensures that the product has gone through a number of checks, regular checks, to make sure that the whole process, the manufacturing process, is legitimate and safe, and all food products should be within 20% of label claim. Now that's not saying very much, but that's just a law. But in terms of the practices that a supplement company goes through, make sure that it is GMP certified or CGMP certified. Okay, in this case, we've got the little label right here. Okay. Something else you want to look at, list of ingredients. Generally speaking, you don't want a long list of ingredients. So if I look at this, the ingredients in the ATP Lab, this is ATP Lab whey protein isolate, which, by the way, whey isolate should have no lactose, should have 0 lactose in it. A true isolate should have no lactose. So if you're lactose intolerant, you should be okay with it. In here, so this is what they call medical ingredients, whey protein isolate, grass-fed whey. All right, now let's look at the other ingredients, the non-medical ingredients. Non-medical ingredients, we've got, where are we here? We've got, it's got to be over on this side. I don't want to look at the French. Where is the English? Oh, here we go, sorry. Organic flavors, xanthine gum, so this is just a fiber. There's nothing to be concerned about, just a fiber. and then organic stevia. That's it. So basically there's organic flavor. In this case, it's going to be organic vanilla flavoring. Basically a little bit of fiber just to give it a little bit thicker consistency, and then stevia, which is a natural sweetener, and then protein isolate. So what does that mean? For sure, if you're not getting a lot of ingredients in there, you already know the purity is going to be high. If you're going to get something, and you can look at the purity in a second, I'll show you how to do that. It's not very hard to check out. If something has a lot of ingredients, chances are it's going to be not quite so pure. You want to look for a protein that's really at least 80% pure. So how do we know how pure something is? Look at the total serving size. In this case, serving size is 30 grams, which, by the way, if you do a nice packed scoop, this is 40 grams per scoop. Just to note, okay? 30 grams, which they say is 1 scoop, you get 27 grams of protein. So this is 90% pure. So what are the other 3 grams? Well, we get a little bit of carbohydrate. We get 2.6 grams. And we get a really small amount of fat, 0.3 grams. So 2.9. And then, of course, there's going to be things like, sodium and some level of cholesterol and all that kind of stuff. Okay, some very minuscule amounts of other stuff in there. 90% pure protein. This is definitely one of the highest purities on the market for sure. They don't really come much higher than 90%. Okay, so look for purity. So again, you're looking at that serving size. So serving size, and then you just want to drop down to protein, because it's a protein powder. You're buying this for the protein content, obviously, and you want to check out how much protein it has. Okay, so CGMP certified. Look at the listing of ingredients. We want minimal, usually less than 5 or 6, somewhere around there, max 6. Depending on what the ingredients are, sometimes there's some good ingredients in there. If it's a vegan protein, it's gonna have way more than 6. So this isn't always the case, okay? So it just depends on what the ingredients are, of course. We wanna look at the purity, which we just did, and then next we wanna look at the protein source. So whey is gonna be your best. Why is it the best? Because it's the highest in the essential amino acids, and these are the essential amino acids that we need. There are 9 essential amino acids that we cannot get out of the 20 amino acids, and this is why we need what we call a complete protein. Animal-based proteins are complete proteins. In particular with whey, this is super high in essential amino acids. The amino acids you cannot make, the amino acids that you can only get through your diet. Whey has got a really high amount of those, okay? Now this can be manipulated. Some companies manipulate that. This company does not, because they actually stipulate the amount of essentials in here, so you can take a look. Next would be, if I had to choose, next would be beef protein. And again, it's another animal-based protein, not as high in the essential amino acids, but again, it's beef protein. You're going to get a better bioavailability. You're going to get more of that protein in your system, and you're going to be able to utilize it. Next, we go into, well, there would be some other ones. There would be some micellar casein, and you might get for, you could look at a whey concentrate, which is a lower grade whey, and you might have some issues with that because there will be lactose in that. But next would be beef. Okay, so beef would be the next one after whey isolate, or whey, let's just keep it simple. A whey, we go for beef, and then maybe micellar casein would be another one, but those ones are not, you don't find a lot of those on the market. And then we start to go into vegetarian. The reason why I'm not big on vegetarian is because the bioavailability is just not the same. And that's not for protein. Generally, the nutrition that you get out of fruits and vegetables, I'm not saying don't eat fruits and vegetables. Obviously, we need fruits and vegetables. We need the fiber, and we're going to get nutrition from it. We just don't get all the nutrition. Nutrition that comes from non-animal-based foods are just not as bioavailable. So typically, if you're having a protein, a common vegan-based protein is either soy or pea protein, or a combination of those two things. Sometimes there's hemp, and sometimes there's a mixture of all three, and sometimes there's some others in there. But generally speaking, it's either soy, hemp, or pea protein. These just aren't going to be as bioavailable. It's just the way it is. It's not. I'm not saying vegan's bad. I'm just saying, or vegetarian. I'm just saying what is. It's just not as bioavailable. You're just not going to get the same kind of protein retention out of it. You're going to pass more of it through your body. Okay? and you're not going to get the same level of essential amino acids. However, some of those products, some of the vegan protein powders, may be infused with more essential amino acids. That is, they will add in essential amino acids. So in this case, that's not so bad, right? Because you need them. You need a supplement with them, especially if you're vegan, because you're not going to get, or vegetarian, you're not going to get as much of those essential amino acids, given that you're not eating animal-based products. And I'm at 10.5 minutes, so let's just stop there and let's get the message of the day. And you know that this is the week that you will not quit, right? Week 5. Week 5 is the week that you will not quit. So reset, readjust, refocus as many times as you need to. Just don't quit. Reset, readjust, refocus as many times as you need to. Just don't quit. Just don't quit. Do as much as you can do and be honest with yourself. Whether it's an injury or whether you're battling an illness or whatever, what is it that you can actually do? Don't just simply give up and say there's nothing you can do. Do as much as you can do. Do as much as you can do. All variables taken into consideration, mental state, everything, right? But ultimately, if your goal or goals are important enough, if they are a priority to you, then let's do everything we can. If they're not a priority to you, if it's not important, then that's fine. That's fine. There's lots of things that are not important to me that are important to other people. So I just don't care, right? But the point is when something is important to you, you've got to be honest with yourself and you've got to do as much as you can do to make or to try to achieve those goals that you have in mind, or at least redefine those goals. Maybe cut them down a little bit and break them up into smaller goals. All right, positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.